warm tea, a cozy blanket, and a good book. Sounds like the perfect recipe for fall, so you know what that means. It is time for my fall TBR list. So get yourself a snack and or a beverage, something warm to drink, and let's get ready to talk about it. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Nakia. Welcome to my channel. So I am so excited. It's September. It's fall. I haven't even fully decorated yet, but I pulled stuff out because we are going to decorate today. But I was like, I need the fall stuff in the background because it's happening today anyway. I also have a hot cup of tea. This is ginger tea, spicy, warm, perfect for this time of year. So I am ready to dig into all my fall reading plans. I got mystery thrillers, of course, a couple of fantasy and some sci-fi. So let's just get on into them. Now, the first book I'm going to talk about is actually one I'm already reading because I'm filming this on September 4th and I started this book, I think, on Saturday, which was like the 2nd. And that book would be Stormfront by Jim Butcher. And this is the first book in the Dresden Files series. They are up to book like 17, so we'll see how far I get. But I am finally reading this book because of Leslie over at The Nerdy Narrative. She has spoken so highly of this series. And when I watched her last, I think it was a wrap-up video, she talked about this book series. And I was like, Leslie, I'm finally going to read it. So I am finally doing it. I read a little bit of a sample and it takes place in like late spring, I think, but it was giving me fall vibes because cool weather, rain, equals fall. So let me just tell you a little bit about it in case you have not heard. So this book is an urban fantasy and mystery book. And basically we are following a wizard named Harry Dresden. And he works alongside the Chicago PD. Basically, whenever they have a case that seems supernatural in nature, they call him to help out. And in book 1, Stormfront, he is called to the scene of a gruesome double murder that appears to have involved black magic. So of course, he starts digging into this case to figure out what happened, and because there is black magic involved, things get mighty dangerous for Mr. Harry Dresden. So what happens in this book? I don't know. We shall see. I can tell you one thing. I am reading this book in tandem with the audiobook. I have it on my Kindle right now. I have the paperback book on its way to me from my local library, but right now I'm doing the Kindle and the audiobook, and I love the audiobook narrator. He reads it in that noir 50s style. I'm sure that's the vibe that we're supposed to get from this book because that's how it reads, like an old 50s crime noir type of book, which is also why I thought it was perfect for fall. And so far it is giving me everything I wanted and more, but you'll have to stay tuned for my final rating. I'm only about like 20% into it, so stay tuned. But until then, let's move on to my next book. Next up, we have Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I have talked about this book so many times. I'm sure you all know about it. I don't even know what else I need to say, but it is a thriller. And I talked about this book. It was supposed to be read for my summer TBR, but I just did not get a chance to get to it. I did not have enough time. I wanted to read it for Summerween, but I ended up reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager instead. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hold this one for fall because it has fall vibes anyway. And I actually had a viewer, Sipping with Heather, leave me a comment in my summer TBR video letting me know that this book was perfect for Summerween because it takes place, or it starts on Halloween. So anyway, it's still gonna be perfect for fall because it starts on Halloween. I'm assuming it continues after that and we will get into November, etc. But I just thought this is perfect for fall. So like I said, I have talked about this book so many times. It was also part of my 23 books to read in 2022 video. I will have it linked here. But basically we are following a woman named Jen. And yes, midnight on Halloween, she sees her son murder a man. And I don't know what else happens that day, but she goes to bed, and when she wakes up the next day, it is back on Halloween and the murder has not happened. And she keeps reliving this day until she can figure out how to stop her son from murdering this man, or why is he doing this in the first place? So it's a Groundhog's Day type of situation. Mystery, who is this man, all this stuff. Why is her son doing this? I don't know, but I can't wait to curl up with this book and find out. Like I said, takes place around Halloween, so perfect for fall. It's not a horror book, so I thought it was perfect for now, not during spooky season, because we got books coming for that too. Next up, I have another mystery book to cozy up with. This is The Millhouse Murders by Yukito Ayatsuji. I hope I got that right. I looked up the pronunciation. But this is a murder mystery. I believe it's like a closed circle one, I believe. But this book was actually first published in 1988, and it is book 2 in a series. I'm not sure the name of the series because all I could find was the Japanese title of the series. So if you know the name of the series, you can also let me know that below. But I'm assuming and hoping I do not have to read book 1. I plan to read that one. That is called the Decagon House Murders or something like that, I believe. But this one just seemed to have more of the fall vibe, so I wanted to read this one for fall. And again, it's only book 2, so I don't think I missed that much. Now, why is this book perfect for fall? Because the whole book takes place in September. If you look up the book, you can see the chapter names, and each one takes place in a different day in September. So, we gonna cuddle up. Yes, we are. But let me tell you what it's about. Let me put this down for a second because I'm actually gonna read from my phone because I have not talked about this book yet. So in this book, every year, a small group of acquaintances pay a visit to the remote castle-like mill house, home to the reclusive Fujinuma Kishi, I hope I'm saying that right, son of a famous artist who has lived his life behind a rubber mask ever since a disfiguring car accident. This year, however, the visit is disrupted by an impossible disappearance, the theft of a painting, and a series of baffling murders. Kiyoshi Shimada arrives to investigate, but will he uncover the truth, and will you be able to solve the mystery of the Millhouse murders before he does? I doubt it. I usually don't solve these mysteries, but we're gonna see how it goes. So yes, I'm excited. Now, all of these books I have put a hold on from my library. They are on their way to me, like I said, including the Dresden Files book 1. So I did not have them in time to do this video. I didn't plan ahead, but I cannot wait to get my hands on them, especially these next 2 because they're graphic novels. Don't get ahead. They're middle grade, but let's just get into it. So yes, I have 2 middle grade graphic novels. First up, we have Garlic and the Vampire by Bree Paulson. I know this is a beloved graphic novel. I have heard so many people talk about this book. I tried to go find like where was the first place I heard it. I don't even know because I've heard so many of you talk about it. And I was like, fall is the time. We're gonna do it. I will pop some of the illustrations up here on the screen because they just scream fall vibes. They just look so, I don't know, autumnal. There we go. Yes. Now, side note, I love garlic. I love to cook with it. I love the taste, all of it. So this is just so, I don't want to eat this garlic, but I love garlic. So in this book, we follow the character Garlic, and she just wants to tend to her garden and be alongside her friend Carrot. Oh, cute. But one day, the village of vegetable folk learned that a vampire has moved into a nearby castle, and they are worried and alarmed. So who better to send to check out this vampire but Garlic? So she accepts the challenge and she decides to go see what this vampire is all about. And I'm sure adventures ensue, and I can't wait to see what happens in this graphic novel. I know there's at least a second one, not sure about a third or fourth or fifth, but I'm looking forward to this one, and hopefully I will enjoy it and want to continue. Next up, we have Enola Holmes Volume 1 by Serena Blasco. So again, a graphic novel series. I first heard about this through Darling Desi here on YouTube. If you do not know about her, I'm sure you do if you watch my channel, but she has the best fall videos. I mean, every season she does great videos, but fall is what she is known for. So if you were looking for some fall cozy content, I recommend her channel. She gives book recommendation, movie recommendations, all that good stuff, but just the vibes. Just love it. Anyway, I will have her link below. So yeah, I saw her talk about this book and I was like, what's this? Let me go check. And it intrigued me. Now, this is a middle grade historical fiction mystery. So you know, historical fiction and mystery tick so many of my boxes. Oh, I cannot wait. Now, volume 1 that I will be getting from my library has 3 books in one, and it has The Case of the Missing Marquess, The Case of the Left-Handed Lady, and The Case of the Bizarre Bouquets. Now, I don't think this book takes place in fall, but the illustrations, I will put them here. They just give me fall vibes. They just look so cozy. I'm just ready to cuddle up with this book. So basically, we follow 14-year-old Enola Holmes, who wakes on her birthday to find that her mother has disappeared. And the only thing she has left behind is a collection of flowers and a coded message book. So Enola goes on a search to find out what happened to her mother and where is her mother? So of course, I believe these 3 books are mysteries that she gets involved in along the way while she's searching for her mother. You know, Holmes, Sherlock Holmes, I'm sure there's a connection. So I'm looking forward to helping her or trying to figure out if I can solve these mysteries alongside her. Now, while we are on the subject of historical fiction, what says fall more than a magical circus? This time, I believe a couple years ago, is when I read The Night Circus. So when I saw this book, it was part of my 2023 anticipated book releases video for the second half of the year. I will link that here, but I knew I was saving it. And I'm speaking of The First Bright Thing by J.R. Dawson. Now, this takes place after World War I, and we follow Wren, who is a ringmaster who can time travel. Already said. Fantasy. Now, her and her wife Odette lead a circus that is a home for magical misfits called the Sparks. Now, apparently Wren has some kind of mysterious past, and one day this past comes to haunt her because another circus pops up, and it is the complete opposite of her circus. There are black tents, and clearly something sinister is going on, and apparently the ringmaster of this circus will stop at nothing until they get something that they want from Wren. So it sounds so interesting. I hope it's a winner. Because new releases just don't always go well for me. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Now, what else says fall more than rain? Rainy season, rainy days. So I have a closed circle mystery that takes place on an island where there is a storm a-brewing. And this one is Death in the Family by Tessa Weggard. I first heard about this book through Intentionally Bookish here on YouTube. I will also have her channel linked below. She reads and recommends a ton of cozy mysteries, but just mysteries in general. But I saw this on her channel, I believe like a year or so ago. I have been holding on to it because I knew it was perfect for fall. I missed last fall, but we get into it this year. Okay, now this one I also talked about in my 23 books to read in 2023 video, so I won't go too deep. But basically we are following a senior investigator, Shanna Merchant, and it says we have a storm-struck island, a blood-soaked bed, and a missing man, which means there is a killer in the midst. And amongst all of this, we have family secrets and lies. So this kind of reminds me of The Only One Left, but we shall see. I have my fingers crossed. I'm hoping this is going to be comfy cozy and it's just, so entertaining. Let's move on. Now I'm going to finish off this list with two sci-fi books. This first one is a sci-fi fantasy, but it still gives me more sci-fi vibes, but we're gonna get there. This first one is The Rook by Daniel O'Malley. I spoke about this in my 23 books to read in 2023. I'm trying to check these books off the list. This one is a sci-fi urban fantasy mystery. So like I said, there's some fantasy in there and you'll see why in a second. Now the reason I put this on this list is because when I started reading some of a sample, it was a lot of rain, and of course, rain equals fall. So here we are. Now in this book, we are following a woman who wakes up in a park with no memory of anything about herself, and she's surrounded by dead bodies. But she gets some instructions from her former self, which is where the sci-fi element comes in. And in these instructions, she learns that she is a rook, which is a high-level operative tasked with protecting the world from supernatural forces. So there's the urban fantasy part. Now, that's all I got, so we're gonna dive in and see. When I started reading it, it was just so intriguing, so I can't wait to find out more and give you more when I give a wrap up. And last, but certainly not least, I can't believe I'm finally getting to this book. It is by one of my favorite authors, Blake Crouch, and I'm finally gonna read Pines Book 1 in the Wayward Pines series. Now this is a sci-fi mystery thriller. It also says horror on Goodreads, so I don't know what we're getting into, but I have heard one person rant and rave about this book, and every time I've heard them speak about it, I was like, I gotta read it, I gotta read it. I'm finally doing it. Tori. Yes, Tori from Tori Morrow here on YouTube. She loves this series. She speaks so highly of it. I will have her link below. She reads a lot of sci-fi and fantasy, and like I said, she loves this book series. So I was like, I gotta get to it. And with this book, it is a forest. You can see it on the cover of the book, and that just to me gives me fall vibes. I just think about, you know, once again, forests, trees, that good stuff. I don't know, but it's on this list. And the tagline for this book is so intriguing. It says, "One way in, no way out." What are we getting into? Now, I'm gonna read a little bit about this book because I have never talked about it and it's a lot to unpack. So in Pines, we follow Secret Service agent Ethan Burke, who arrives in Wayward Pines, Idaho with a mission. Locate two federal agents who went missing. But within minutes of his arrival, Ethan is involved in a violent accident. He comes to a hospital with no ID, no cell phone, and no briefcase. As the days pass, Ethan's investigation turns up more questions than answers. Why can't he get any phone calls through to his wife and sun in the outside world? Why doesn't anyone believe he is who he says he is? And what is the purpose of the electrified fence surrounding the town? Are they meant to keep the residents in or something else out? Each step closer to the truth takes Ethan farther from the world he knew, from the man he was, until he must face a horrifying fact: he may never get out of Wayward Pines alive. Dun, dun, dun. I've not done that in a minute. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. So many things about that remind me of other Blake Crouch books, so I am looking forward to it. I know there was a TV show, I have never seen it, so all of this will be brand new to me. I don't even know where to start. So many of these books are so good. It's just, I'm gonna have them piled up, and as I go, we'll see what I get into. And of course, all of these books will be linked below, so you can check them out for yourself as well. You can also consider this a recommendation video. Some of these books you may not have known give fall vibes. If you think the things I think, check these books out. Now, I plan for these books to take me through September and November. I will have a spooky TBR video coming later for October. That will be a totally separate thing. But yeah, these will take me through September and November. Now, of course, if I DNF any of these books, something else will get put in its place, and you will just have to stay tuned to find out, or keep up with me on Goodreads. Sometimes I update on Instagram, but mainly on Goodreads. So you can always know what I'm doing on Goodreads. It's linked below as well. Now, feel free to let me know in the comments what some of your fall TBR plans are. I really want to know. I may get some recommendations for next fall, or in case I DNF any of these books, like I said, let me know. Or let me know one of your favorite fall activities to do, or favorite fall drink. I'd love to know that as well. And of course, if you want to let me know that you made it this far in the video, and or you don't have any other comment, you can leave me an emoji, and we are going to go with, of course, fall leaves, or anything autumnal in apple, whatever you think goes with fall. I love when you guys surprise me with emojis that I don't think of. It's just so fun for me to look at them. And of course, ways you can support my channel are also always linked below. I appreciate any support you give me. And I think that is it for this video, my beautiful people. So until next time, snuggle up in your hideaway with a good book and a warm beverage. Unplug as much as possible. Be kind to all kind. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.